Hello, this is Yawning Angel, and today we're talking about AMOS and how to use AMOS to open windows on an Amiga. Okay, let's dive straight in. So here we are in AMOS Professional. So quick and dirty code, here we go. So I'm giving these line numbers. You don't have to in AMOS at all, but I do because it just makes reading the code a little bit easier and easier to refer to different line numbers. So there we go. So let's start. I'd like a nice clean screen. So we'll have screen open, screen 1. We'll do this at 640 by 300. We will do this 16 colors and it'll be a high-res screen. And we'll set the paper on that screen to color 0, which is black. And then we'll clear the screen, which will give us a nice clean black screen. So press F1 to run this, and there we go. Good, lovely. Right, now we can get on. So let's go now and create our first window. So we'll put a remark in here, our first window, and there we go. Line 110. So we're going to create a window, and to use this command we are going to use wind space open. Every window has to have a number, so this will be our first window, so it's window number 1. Then we have our X and Y coordinates as to where the top left corner of the window is going to start. So these are graphics coordinates. Now windows in AMOS are drawn using the Amiga's Blitter chip. So they lie on a 16 pixel boundary, and if you want to work out the maths for each window you go ahead and do that, but this is quick and dirty coding, so I'm just going to use some numbers which I've played around with and tested on. So I know this window will open up quite nicely at 66 across by 16 down. We then need the width and height values, and these are the characters that we can get into the window. So we are going to go with, let's say 30 characters by 10 characters. And then we need to give it a border. Now, border values for a window, there are 16 different styles according to the manual. Although later on we'll see that that's maybe not, there are 16 provisions for window borders, but maybe not 16 actual styles of borders. But we'll look at that later on. Anyway, we're just going to go with border 1 to start with. So the next line we're going to do means nothing to anyone now, but we're going to issue the command wind save. And what this will do, this saves the integrity of the screen behind windows. So as we move things about on the screen, should you come to do that, nothing will be broken, but I'll show you the effect of this later on. But for now, we'll just put that in there. And now to prove that we're in that window, we're going to print some text in the window. This is our first window, and if I press F1 now, that should give me, ta-da, a window. Very nice. Okay, let's do another window, shall we? So let's go down here, line 200, rem, our second window. There we go. And so we're going to go with wind open. So this is our second window, so we need to number this as number 2. And we're going to change our coordinates. So let's have 360 by 30, and we'll go with that 30 by 10 again. And we'll give this a different border. We'll give this a border 2. And then we're going to go print. This is our second window. And there we go. I think this is fine. So if I press F1 now, black screen, there we go. Look at that. And you'll notice now the second window has a different style of border. So you can start to see what these borders are like now. It's starting to look pretty good. So we're going to do a third window now. And let's start putting the code in for that. So let's see, this will be rem, our third and final window for this exercise. And so here we go again, wind open. This is window number 3. And this one we're going to open at 200 by 70, and we're going to give it the same 30 by 10 characters again. We'll give this a border 1 again, so we give it a border value, but you can override that. So this is what we're going to do in here, something trick now. So we issue the border command, and what this gives us is the border that we want to use, so a number between 1 and 16. So we're going to go with 2, and then you can define the color of the paper and the color of the ink that makes up that border. So I'm going to go with a paper color of 7 and a pen color of 2. So because we've already told this screen that we want this to be a 16 color screen, that's the kind of palette we have to work with. But I've chosen 7. You might be wondering, what is color 7? Well, something for you to have a dig around and find out, but you'll find out in a bit when I run this command. So let's go. Line 330, and we're going to change the color of the paper on this one. And now, whereas for a screen, we would issue the clear screen command, can you guess what command we're going to use to clear a window? It is CLW, clear window. So that will give us our nice clean window. We're also going to add some extra stuff in here. We're going to add a title to the window. So we've got 2 titles that we can add, a title top, let me move that mouse, and a title bottom, but we're going to do title top. So I'm going to call this window 3, and then we're going to go all out and do a title bottom, bottom text. There we go. So let's do that, and then we want something in the window as well, so we're going to do our usual print. This is window 3, right, and let me press F1. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to do something here which we haven't covered before. So I'm going to get AMOS to stop and wait for us before showing each window after the first window, and we do this by doing wait key. So what wait key will do, it's wait for a key press from the user. So 230, we're going to do wait key after that one, and we won't bother after the third one for now. So let's press F1 and see what happens. So there's our first window. So now AMOS is waiting for us. So we press a key, and then there's our second window. And now let's see what our third window is going to look like when I press a key. And there we go, look at that. So 7 was grey. So as you can see with this, we've got our title there, window 3, there's our bottom title, and we've got text inside the window. So there we go, that's looking pretty good. I'm quite pleased with that. Right, now we have our 3 windows on the screen. Let's have some fun and cycle through each window and put a message up on each window from one chunk of code. So let's dive in. So rem, some fun cycling through windows. We're going to do a for loop. So we have 3 windows. So we're going to say A equals 1, 2, 3, because we want to visit each window. After that for loop is initiated, or for each time through the cycle, we want to issue a wait key, because I want to slow this process down so you can see it happening with a little bit of control. 430, we're going to now say to AMOS, go to window A. So the first time through the loop, that'll be window 1, the second time it'll be 2, the third time it'll be 3. 440, we want to set the paper to A, because I'm going to change the colour of the paper in each window. We'll have the pen will always be 0, and we'll clear the window each time through. And then what we're going to do, line 450, print hello window space A. And there we go. And then 460 next A. Right, if I put the cursor here and press F, oh no, label defined twice. Should be line 460. Let's change that. F3, right, that F3 indents your loops in AMOS, so remember that, F3. Right, now what do I want to do? I want to, no, that's fine, I think we're good. Let's see what that does. So let's press F1. So what will happen, we'll go through, there's our first window, there's our second window, there's our third window. Now we should get the cycling happen. So hello window 1, hello window 2, hello window 3. There we go. It's that straightforward. So back in the code then. Now remember when we started off, I spoke about this wind save command there and how it protected almost the integrity of the windows and the text and images underneath it. So what I'm going to do now is actually remove this line and I'll show you what happens. So if I just comment that line out, and now if I run this program, so now we don't have the wind save command. The window save command is no longer running in this code. So I press F1. So we have our first window up here, okay, there's our second window, there's our third window. Now you're going to see the difference. So now we're going to loop through all the windows and send a message to each window. There's the first one, so you can already see that's corrupted the third window. Second one, that's corrupted the third window as well because it's just gone over it. And what is going on here? It's just a bit of a mess. So that's the importance of wind save. You definitely need it in there if you're going to be printing over a window or anything's going to be overlapping. It just protects that integrity. So well worth having in there. Okay, back in the code now, and first thing I need to do is remove that comment from the wind save. So that means our window save command is now live and back in the code. Then we want to tidy things up, and what we're going to do is cycle through all the borders so you can see what they do. And even though there are 16 options for borders, maybe there aren't really 16 borders available, but you'll see that in a minute. So the first thing I need to do is tidy up my screen. So let's go with a paper 7 and we'll clear the screen, and then we're going to let's have a comment here, rem some fun with borders, and we'll go. What we're going to do is open a brand new window on our nice clean new screen, and this will be a wind opened. This is going to be window 4, and we'll put this at graphics coordinates 32 by 16. I want it 60 characters across by 10 characters down, and I'll just give it a 1 just as a kind of default border to start with. Then what we're going to do is give it a title top, and this will be let's play with borders. I love my exclamation marks. They're good fun. Line 630. So now what we're going to do is set the color of the paper inside the window. Paper, I want that to be black, I want the pen to be white, and we'll issue the CLW command to the clear window to clear that up for us. Now we're going to do the loop. So let's dive in. So for B for border equals 0 to 15, because 0 to 15 is 16 iterations of this loop. Now what I'm going to do is put a wait key command in here so we can step through it one at a time and you can see it working. Now line 660, border B, and I want the paper for this to be 0 and the pen to be 2, so black paper, white pen, there we go. And what I want to do inside the window, no, steady, get ahead of yourself there, 670, I want to locate 1,1. So I'm setting my cursor to position 1,1 because I want to print this message on each iteration. Print border space B. So this will show us which border we're displaying each time through the iteration. And then I think what I need is a 690 next B. If I move my cursor up into here and press F3, that indents my loop for me. And I think we're ready to go. So let's hit F1 now. So here's my first window. There's my second window. It's my third window. Now when I press a key, we'll go through our writing messages to each window as I did previously. And obviously now, because I've got the Windows Save command back in, it's not corrupting the windows. That looks quite nice. Oh, we jumped ahead there. I might have to do something about that. Anyway, so here we are with this window. So let's play with borders. So now if I press the return key, here we go. Border 0, border 1, border 2. Notice that's changed. Border 3, border 4, little dots in there if you can see them. Let's just zoom in a bit there, or focus rather. Border 5, border 6, border 7, border 8, border 9. Please notice there's not much change in these. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we're done. So it appears that AMOS gives us the provision for 16 borders, and this may change with different graphics modes. They might be able to be user defined, who knows, but that's pretty much how you cycle through the borders to see what's available. Worthwhile doing if you're curious about them, and that is pretty much it. So just quickly, I want to show you what happens if I try to go beyond 16 borders. Because you might be thinking, well, there's last borders, nothing was changing. You're just making it up. You're just putting random numbers in. I don't believe you. Well, I'll show you and prove to you that AMOS only allocates 16 places for borders. So what I just need to do in here quickly is, after this chunk of code, let's just put in a wait key. And then down here in my loop, I'm going to change 0 to 15 to 0 to 16. So this will be 17 iterations through the loop. So I'm going to run that code now, and we'll see what happens after we get past the 16th iteration of border. Right, so here we are back at our window 4. So let's start off then. Border 0, so which is effectively your first iteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 15 will be our 16th iteration. Now I set the code to go for 17 iterations. So now when I press this, it should tell me technically border 16, but AMOS throws an error. Throws an illegal text window parameter on that border. It's not happy with our 17th iteration. So there you go, proof that there are only 16 available border options in AMOS. And that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that other great stuff. I've also got some other AMOS videos on my channel. There's a link up above here. Please look at those if you are interested. More of these videos to come. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.